Hi, I'm Vinney Todd Tolman, and I am the author of The Light After Death. I am a man who has seen both sides of life, the eternal side, which to me is the real side, and this side.
What is the soul?
The soul to me is the real self, the real aspect of who we are, and the ego to me is the imprint of the soul on the body.
What is the soul's relation to Source/God?
The soul's relationship with God or source or creator is the soul to me is a fractal of the creator, a piece. And that when you gather all the fractals, you find source, you find the creator, you find the creation.
Are human incarnations voluntarily chosen?
Earth School is voluntary, the entire process. And more than that, deeper than that, not only did we choose to come here, it's going to be hard for some people to hear, but we choose the obstacles, we choose the hardships, the same way that we choose a class at a college. And it is hard for us to understand why we would choose hardship. It's hard for me to understand why I would choose the hardship that I've received as a child and as an adolescent. But truly, when you're in that protected love and you're connected to source, connected to your source, where you come from, then you get a higher understanding. You get a knowing of why we chose some of the things we chose. And for some of us, we're going to have to get all the way to that higher place, to source, for us to fully understand that.
What's the purpose of life on the physical plane?
The purpose of life here is for us to come here to learn, to grow, to build our ability, our skill set of creating with our thoughts. And really that's what it's all about. It's coming to Earth School to learn how to create, how to build, how to strengthen and use those skills for our eternal progression.
Do souls have more than one incarnation, either on Earth or elsewhere?
I get this question a lot. Is there more lives than one? What I can tell you is life is larger than you could ever understand. The pieces and parts of the soul are bigger, greater, and everlasting than we could ever understand. And to say one way or another is to box out life, is to box out source, to box God out. And I know that I'm not smarter than God. I know I'm not going to box out possibilities or options where God may have created.
Does the soul plan its incarnations ahead of time?
Yes, absolutely. We plan well ahead of time. We plan according to what we need, what we want, what we desire. The same way that you make a list when you go to the grocery store. Before this life, in your eternal form, you're coming to Earth School. You know you're going to come to Earth School. And so you start choosing. And part of that process is to choose what and how long and what we're going to learn, where we're going to learn, and the pieces and parts we do choose. It's all free selection, the entire process. And it is our higher being, our higher self, our soul self, our fractal of source that chooses this. We're like a piece of raw iron or raw ore. And as we are gathered and put together, we have a desire. We want to be more. We want to be refined. And so we come to the blacksmith. And to me, the blacksmith is Earth School. We make our selections. We get tempered. We get shaped. We get grinded. We get polished. And we hate the blacksmith the whole time. But after we're made and we see the fine craftsmanship that made us, and we see what it did for us in the long run, we thank the blacksmith for all the hardship, for all the grinding, the shaping, the tempering, the pounding and the reheating. We thank the blacksmith. And that is us in Earth School.
Do we have soul groups that we incarnate with across different lifetimes?
Yes, we do definitely have soul groups. We definitely have collectives. We have cooperatives. We have many levels of our soul groups that we gather and can join. We can join by the target, the goal, what we're trying to accomplish, what we'd like to achieve with our incarnation, with our life here in Earth School. And many of these groupings, these soul families, could be ancestral. We see them show up as ancestral here, but many are not. Many are energetic. We're gathering in different energies and coming together and finding ourselves working around each other, being best friends with part of our soul group. It's really a beautiful process, and there's a way to tap in to understand that. You know, it's hard sometimes for us to understand why we may choose someone in our soul group, someone who is maybe our abuser, maybe someone who has done a lot of bad things to us. And for us in our conscious mind here, in the human body, the physical body, the meat suit, it's hard for us to understand that. But when we pull back and we pull up to the higher self, to the higher consciousness, and take a big look at how much we grow because of the abuse, how much we become a stronger person because of the mean things that are done to us, then we understand the higher purpose. And the higher purpose is us, our development. That's what it's all about. And so, yes, we may select even a villain to be a part of our soul group.
Are there contracts or agreements between souls?
Absolutely, there is contracts between us. There's contracts for good, there's contracts for bad. Both serve to play to our higher purpose. That definitely the contracts for bad may be to help push us in the right direction, push us to the right career, push us to the right way of being, so that we can make our influence and our impact on this life.
Do spirit guides or angels assist us?
So spirit guides and angels, to me, show up on two sides of us. One side is going to be our ancestral side. That's going to be our spirit guides. On the other side, we have our God assigned or source assigned guidance team, and that's going to be angels primarily. And how they assist us is whisper us messages, help us feel things that we don't understand, help direct us. Have you ever had that sense that you just need to reach out to that one friend, and just so happened you reached out right when they needed you? You were listening to your guides, to your guidance team, and they're there for all of us.
What is death?
Death is an absolutely amazing thing. I got to experience it. I was dead for well over 30 minutes for sure, maybe even an hour and a half. But I know for a fact that what I experienced was an amazing, beautiful thing. To me, what it is going to a train station or an airport to go home. And home is the end journey, and death itself is getting to the train station or getting to the airport. It's just the process that we go through to go home, to where we came from.
What is the veil of forgetting and why do we need it?
The veil of forgetfulness, what people call the veil, is a very foundational purpose, a very fundamental purpose for all of us. The reason why we need the veil or the forgetfulness factor for us to be living here is if we could connect, if we could really feel the ultimate love that is there for all of us, for what the universe feels is the divine masterwork, which is us beings on earth. If we could feel that love for us, it would completely influence our decisions on a daily basis, thus removing so much of the reason that we're here, and that is free agency, our ability to choose, uninfluenced, the things that we want in our lives, the way we react to things in our lives. And that builds us, it builds our character, it builds our soul, it builds us who we are. That's why it's important for us to have that forgetfulness. Otherwise, we would be completely influenced by our pre-earth knowledge or our pre-life knowledge.
Discuss the role of free will in a given incarnation.
Free will is our ability to make choices, our ability to build our lives, build our character with those choices, choose our thoughts, choose the things that are going to influence our thoughts. And these are all the ways that we build who we are. And what's amazing about that is as we start learning to control that, we can start steering our career, start steering our destiny, start steering our character, who we become. Can we overcome our destiny with our choices? This is an important thing for us to truly understand. We 100% own our choices. Does that mean that we're walking away from a destiny to make certain choices? No, because part of that destiny is to make those choices. They work synonymous to each other. But at the same right, we have to honor and respect the mistakes, honor and respect the path, and understand that sometimes the greatest thing is the mistake because it made us a stronger, better person, as long as we're able to learn and to move and to grow from it. So to me, destiny and agency work hand in hand, woven together.
Is life on the physical plane an illusion?
To me, from my perception, yes, life here in the physical plane is an illusion or a virtual reality, because our true self, our true oneness, our true being is actually existing in another space, not here. We exist remotely here. We exist almost virtually here, the way that this process works with Earth School. The reason it matters that we are here in this virtual reality, that we're here in this matrix of beliefs and paradigms, why it matters is because we chose to play. We chose to play. So don't throw away your choice. Don't throw away that and say it doesn't matter what I do, because it does matter. Be the part of your choice. Be the part of your life that makes a difference.
Do we create our own realities?
Yes, we do create our own reality. We create our own reality by using our beliefs, using our systems or paradigms to build our glass houses, build our houses of cards. But in reality, we can step out of that and build the reality that we want, choose the reality that we want. What we think of, we will create. And that is a fact. The process for us to create here is it all begins with thoughts. If we can start organizing and characterizing our thoughts, getting our thoughts in order, from there, that's going to create our beliefs. Our beliefs are going to turn into our habits and our actions. And those actions literally move and steer our destiny, steer who we are, steer our character, and steer our life. And in this right, we do have the power of creation just with the sheer thoughts. It all starts with the thoughts first. When we are near source, when we're in the heaven space or home, the moment we have a thought, the whole universe there starts organizing and coming together to create the things that we think of. And here, for our own protection, it goes through a process. It starts with that thought. Then we have to have intention and work and belief. And as this all comes together, we actually start creating. But it's a lot longer and delayed process here, but no different. The difference is that the universe is just slower in responding.
Describe the life between lives.
If you follow sports, the time in between plays, you're gathering together resources, you're coming up with new plans, and that's really what's going on in between the last life or the pre-existent life and now, this life. And that's what we do. We get to make plans, we get to build new strategies, add new things that we want to add to our structure, who we are, what we're going to learn. And we embrace that and go for it. Go for it the next time around.
Are we judged or punished for our mistakes in the afterlife?
We don't get the judgment that we think we're going to get. We get the judgment that we think we deserve. Life has always been a classroom. It never was a courtroom. There's no outside judge or jury that's going to prevent you from getting into your heaven, your home, your heaven space, your creative space. But what will prevent you from getting there is you, your beliefs, your prejudices. That's why it's so important for us to deal with those here, release those here. But if we do die or cross over with those judgments, they'll hold us back a bit, but just for a while, so that we can clear ourselves, so we can cleanse ourselves of those things. And as we do, we get to move forward.
Is there such a thing as hell?
I get asked this one quite a bit, and my answer is always the same. Yes, there is a hell. It's called Earth School. We're in it right now. This is as bad as it gets. There is harder parts of our growth that when we transition, we have to face the truth of the bad things we've done. To some, that might seem like a hell. To others, it's not going to be so bad. But it's just a fact of facing what we've done. Once we have, we're okay. We get to keep going. We get to move forward. So again, to me, the worst hell is right here, what we're going through. And if this is the worst, look what we have to look forward to.
Describe the life review.
For me, my life review, which I did get to have a life review, it was very quick. I saw very fastly the bad things I ever did, all of them, every single thing I ever did, from the smallest of age up to the age that I had crossed over. And I got to see from inside the eyes or from the perspective of those who had received the harm or the wrongdoing, even to the littlest bit. And as I quickly sifted through that, I got to see the good things, got to see the loving things, the selfless service, the helping others in ways that I didn't even know I was helping them. And through that, I was able to see the good aspect of who I was. I'm a firm believer that now is the day, now is the time that you should go and recompense or repair the wrongdoing that you do. Don't wait until the life review, because if you can clear it up now, it goes so much swifter, so much cleaner, so much faster on to the next thing. But if you don't, it's something you're going to experience, you're going to feel, you're going to understand what you really did to others.
What is karma?
Karma or dharma is both the energy of positive and negative that follows us around. It's something that it plays to our choices, it plays to our experiences in life. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't lock you into anything. We still have our agency in all that we do. Just because maybe in our ancestry or in our ancestral line there's been a lot of mistakes, it doesn't lock us into those same mistakes. We don't have to do what our forefathers did. We get to create our reality with our choices. Don't feel that you're locked in because of the choices of the past or choices you didn't make. Another aspect to understand is that with karma, with what we call karma, it's the law of the pendulum, that as it swings one direction, there has to be recompense the other. But what we sometimes mistake is we think we know how the karma is going to play out, how the repair or recompense is going to play out. Source, the creator, knows how the recompense happens. But what's neat is we have the opportunity to do the good and receive the good. In life, if we make good deposits, we get good dividends. If we make bad deposits, we get bad dividends.
How do you define forgiveness?
I had a great woman tell me once that not forgiving someone is like grabbing a bottle of poison, drinking it, and hoping someone else gets sick. If you want to strengthen your vitality in this life, forgive others. Don't do it for them, do it for you. Forgiveness is about you, not them. Even though you forgive them, it's freeing you from that attachment, that negative energy. Don't drink the poison and think somehow magically they're going to get sick. You're the only one who suffers by not forgiving.
Discuss the idea of oneness/unity and how we can apply it in our everyday lives.
We all are one in the way that all my fingers are on one hand. All of us as individuals, we're fingers on the hand of creation. And for us to hate or harm or hurt another, we only hurt oneself. But also for us to love, to serve, to help another, we help oneself. In physics, they've proven entanglement. They've proven it at the photon level, that we are entangled in the fabric of life. And when you understand that all of us are pieces of the fabric of life, and you take the microcosm and come to the macrocosm, you're going to understand that all of this weaves together. And so for us to hurt or harm another is to hurt or harm ourselves in the long run. Not closely, but disconnected we are. We will affect ourselves by what we do to each other.
What does the belief in separation cost us?
I think the thing that is the hardest part about believing that we're separate from each other, is we get this ignorance to think that what we do doesn't affect us. What we do to others is not going to affect us, but it will, and it does every single day. What we put out into the universe comes back to us, and sometimes in multiplicity. If we put bad and damage out to the universe in harming others, it will come back in some form. If we put good, if we put service, we put love, we put building into the universe, it will come back to us in dividend.
What, where is heaven? What, where is God?
Where is heaven and where is God? To me, both of those answers are within and above. And to me, it's the same. We can find heaven, we can find God within, in the holiest temple right here between our temples. And there, as we discover and connect to God, our source, our creator, we can go home to heaven through the temple.
Many believe we're shifting to a higher consciousness on this planet. Do you agree? And if so, can you describe this shift?
Yes, the planet is on a trajectory to a higher state of being, a higher state of existence. We can join or we can die. We as humanity have to follow along on this path. It's part of our own destiny, part of our own contracts. We've got to get outside of the individual and understand the purpose of love, the purpose of unification, and embody that. As we do, we get to go with the planet to this higher state of being, this higher frequency.
What's the secret to remembering who we really are?
The best way to remember who you really are is get out in the world and serve your fellow being. As you do, you'll start remembering who you are and where you came from.
What does our soul want us to know?
To me, the most important thing that our soul could communicate to us, the individual here on earth, is to understand that we are truly a divine masterwork. We are the cream of the crop of creation. We are what all the universe wants to be, and that is the divine masterwork of the Creator. That is us as a collective, us as an individual. And as we can embody that, understand that, we can really connect to who we are.
Is there a positive message or message of hope you'd like to leave us with?
Source, our Creator, what I call God, loves every single one of us exactly how we are right now. Not for who we want to be, or who we aspire to be, or who we used to be. Our Creator loves us exactly how we are and wants us to love ourselves that way as well.